I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people.
All right, that was President Bill Clinton's infamous press conference in 1998 during the height of the Monica Lewinsky scandal. Now, yesterday, on the anniversary of that statement, Senator Rand Paul actually compared the former president to a sexual predator. Let's watch this.
The media seems to have given President Clinton a pass on this. He took advantage of a girl that was 20 years old and an intern in his office. There is no excuse for that, and that is predatory behavior, and it should be something we shouldn't want to associate with people who would take advantage of a young girl in his office.
All right, here with reaction, author of the New York Times bestseller, Never Trust a Liberal Over 3, and Coulter, Golden Oldies. Here's the question, though. Because the narrative is always, well, conservatives, Republicans, they don't care about women, which is just a lie.
Yeah.
And then these incidents are ignored.
No,
Why?
I know. I mean, this is a point I make in my book. I'm glad Rand Paul is making it. As I'm constantly telling Republicans, please go on the offense and stop playing defense. Instead of trying to defend yourselves from not wanting to turn over the United States Treasury to giving women free contraception, how about pointing out, you know, the wonderful relations Democrats have with women? You have Bob Filner, sexual harassment, John Edwards cheating on his cancer-stricken wife, Elliot Spitzer and Anthony Weiner, and of course Bill Clinton and Teddy Kennedy, who has the only confirmed kill in the war on women. Oh, but we're supposed to be the ones who are anti-women. I mean, it's not like any woman who was going to vote for Obama after seeing that ad about the first
Here's
time
what I want to ask you, though.
From the fat girl who's always taking her clothes off on HBO. Anyone who would vote for Bill Clinton just for that is not gettable, Republicans. Point out what swine these Democrats are. Look at the head of France now. All these socialists, they're always cheating on their
Why
wives.
has it been reduced to that if conservatives that see that we're bankrupting our kids and grandkids and robbing them blind?
Right.
We cracked open the piggy bank years ago. Now we're stealing their retirement.
Right.
All right. Why is it if we say that women ought to pay for their own birth control, somehow that is now defined as a war on women? You know what? Because most Americans really don't care what other Americans are doing. But if you want to do it, $9 a month doesn't seem like something that taxpayers ought to be paying for.
But it's also not something that should be covered by insurance is the point. It would be like, you know, forcing auto insurers to cover oil changes, because otherwise society is saying that oil changes are not important. It really has nothing to do with insurance unless you hear someone say, you know, that family down the street went bankrupt because they couldn't afford birth control. No, this isn't something. Insurance is for catastrophes. It's for, you know, an encounter with Bill Clinton. It's a fire, a hurricane. It's for a catastrophe.
It's not just Monica Lewinsky.
Day-by-day behavior.
It's Juanita Broderick. It's Kathleen Willey. It's Paula Jones. It's Dolly Kyle Browning.
That's why I think it's worth mentioning that among the many lies that we are constantly told by the media, it's how popular Bill Clinton is. And he's a rock star and the American people love him. He couldn't even get his vice president elected. Ronald Reagan served 2 terms and got that boob of his vice president, George Bush the first, reelected.
Oh, boy. Go ahead. Keep going.
Solely on the basis of his own magnificent presidency. Look, Bill Clinton not only lost an election for Al Gore, and let me mention Al Gore's own pollster, Stanley Greenberg, told Vanity Fair, we kept polling it. Bill Clinton hurt Al Gore, and then he doesn't seem to have helped his wife.
Here's exactly segueing into what I want to ask you. All right, so the woman who testified before Congress did nothing before, during, or after the attack. She screwed up royally on Benghazi. Okay, what difference does it make? Now, obviously, she's running for president because she said this now about Benghazi.
You know, my biggest, regret is what happened in Benghazi. It was a terrible tragedy, losing 4 Americans, 2 diplomats, and now it's public, so I can say 2 CIA operatives.
I have a question. What difference does it make that she says that now?
I just love that she said this on CNN, where CNN viewers, MSNBC viewers, and New York Times readers have no idea what she's talking about.
Probably
They
true.
have not mentioned Benghazi. What, her biggest regret? What is Benghazi? Is that one of Bill's bimbos? They have no idea what she's even talking about. And I don't think we really need to keep bringing it up, because any Democrat who runs against her is going to bring up Benghazi, like Joe Biden. Right. Similarly, any Democrat who runs against Andrew Cuomo, I hear this came up on your show last week. God bless Dick Morris. When Andrew Cuomo was head of HUD, it was he's the one responsible for this financial crisis. He was the one forcing banks to make suicidal loans to poor people, including forcing them to accept unemployment benefits as collateral. And that is not Ann Coulter hyperbole. That is true. And then, you know, yuppies, house flippers take advantage of it. You have all these bad mortgages. The financial system explodes, all because of Andrew Cuomo's work as head of HUD, forcing banks to give mortgages to poor people.
It's unbelievable.
I think that might come up if he runs for president.
I think it might. All right, Coulter, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.